Your emotions this week. I know you grew up around this game. You know, obviously your family, just the Bignell name is a big name around this program. So with this being kind of your last go around, what are your emotions?
To be honest, I'm just trying to keep my emotions in check. If I think about it too much, it is pretty emotional, but I also know that that can take me out of my game, and so I don't try to focus on it too much. I mean, there's time on Sundays that I can think about, my whole career and whatnot, and I'll do that then. But right now, I'm just trying to focus on the game, the task at hand right now.
Growing up in the rivalry and just being around it so much, if you were to try to describe it to someone who hasn't experienced before, what would you tell them?
It's a fierce rivalry. I mean, I don't know if you can find a group of people or such a wide range, like the biggest state is Montana, that, on Saturday, half of them are going to hate each other, and that's just kind of the rivalry. And then the atmosphere, it's second to none. It's just an amazing game. And I mean, it kind of makes Montana State and Montana special because no other team in the Big Sky get to experience it. And it's just a really special game. And
And can you just explain how President was in your childhood growing up? I just overheard stories about, you as a kid, you playing pickup football games, it's Cat versus Griz, and one side's one side,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we used to do that since you could catch a football. I mean, it was always like that, especially with my family. We were always big Cat fans, and we understood the rivalry at a young age, and then you don't really understand it until you get to play in it. And I think that's been the most how it changed in the last 5 years. You really understand the hatred between the two teams, and it's just a different level when you're a fan, and then when you're actually playing, because you don't want to disappoint, a lot of people.
What role does this game play in terms of gaining respect as a program?
I don't think it's about about getting respect anymore. It's kind of everything thrown out the window. It's all about bragging rights at this point. No matter what happens in the future, if the University of Montana makes it to the playoffs, win or loss, it's all about getting the bragging rights for this game, and kind of everything else just gets thrown out the window.
Can you talk about what you've seen from Montana offensively?
Yeah, they're very explosive offense. They got really talented receivers, really good running backs. I've seen they're running a lot more this year than they do last year, and it kind of makes them better because now you have to really defend the run and try to make them one-dimensional. And I think kind of last year they made themselves one-dimensional at times instead of making the other team make them one-dimensional.
I know in Montana's offense, a lot of the skill guys get a lot of the attention, but how good are those five guys up front of the offensive line?
Yeah, they're really good. They're big too, and they're the biggest O-line that we've gone against since Washington State. So that's going to be another challenging because, I mean, our D-line's been spectacular all year, and they've been kind of able to manhandle most of the O-line in the Big Sky, but this is going to be a different game for them, and they're going to have to come up with new ways to win their one-on-ones.
Just your thoughts on Jensen, the quarterback. Has he impressed you being a first-year player?
Oh, very much so, yeah. I mean, he has a big career ahead of him in the Big Sky. I mean, I see some very similar throws that he can make, and as Cookus from last week made. So he can hurt you in many ways. He also brings the ground game along. Cookus did not really bring that factor, but I mean, he can make a lot of good throws, and he can hurt you with his feet. So he's definitely a threat, and we got to be ready for him.
Mac, do you ever think about the early parts of your career being a walk-on, playing safety? Does any of that motivate you when you get to this point of having so much success the last 3 years? Do you think about those early years?
I think in ways it's kind of who I am. You know, I'm basically, you know, just that try-hard guy that made it. You know, started off kind of like Rudy, and then been able to make a name for himself. And it was quite a journey, and you know, I always fall back on those days because those are my toughest times going through the programs. And when you have tough days, you think about those times, and like today's like this, it makes them easier.
Can you point to something that you might consider to be the highlight of your career?
I had 2 viral videos, but I think my most enjoyable one is the squirrel catching one. I think that was, you know, just the relationships probably I built over the last 5 years. I mean, I can still think of guys like Na'a and Alex Singleton and Cole Moore with just throughout the program, how much those guys helped me to get in this position because they were such pros when they were in college, and how they worked out, and they kind of showed me how to act and prepare for games like this. And you know, that's probably my #1 highlight, just the relationships.
Coach Choate talked about how during big games, after the first minute or so, it's just another football game. Is this game different?
Oh yes, I mean this whole week is different. I mean, just the passion, you can just see it coming out of everyone, you know. And you know, the biggest thing is to keep your emotions in check, because it's one of those games that you can get them rolling, and it's kind of hard to, and then it can take you out of a game. And so the biggest part coming into this game, just keep them in check. Still have that fiery passion. I mean, you're playing for bragging rights in Montana, and then you can't let the emotions control you. But it is different than playing in a U. How Coach Choate said that, you know, after that. But it's just a little bit different. It's hard to describe.
What's it like having your final Cat-Griz game be in Bobcat Stadium?
It's awesome. I mean, it's something I thought about since I was a redshirt freshman. You know, I knew it, and I've been visualizing this kind of day ever since. You know, and I always kept the end in mind when thinking about my career and what people want to say to me. And then it's going to be a fun day.
All right, Bryson, let's talk about Cat-Griz in general. What are your thoughts from last year and moving into this year?
You know, this is definitely the biggest game of the year for both sides. You know, I got to be a part of it in my first year, was that 2014 maybe? And you know, just the fans, you know, the Automauer, or the players that came before us. Man, this is the biggest game to them, to us, and it's just a big game, you know. And you know, before coaches say, Coach Choate said he's been around a bunch of big rivalries, and this is definitely the biggest one that he's been a part of. So that's very cool to see.
It's kind of an added element too. You know, once every 2 years, it's senior day for you guys. How does it feel knowing that Cat-Griz especially will be your final game?
Yeah, no, definitely it adds, you know, that's very cool. I mean, it hasn't really set in yet. That's our last game, you know, all of us kind of seniors talking in the locker room. It's kind of weird. It probably won't hit us for a while, but no, it's going to be an awesome experience and atmosphere, and I look forward to it.
Can you talk about just your journey, you know, from South Dakota State to Iowa Western, coming here? What are your emotions? I know you said it hasn't hit, but
yeah,
what do you expect your emotions to kind of be like?
You know, I don't. You know, it's kind of just, you know, I'm just excited. You know, it kind of hit me a little bit today when Coach was like, "Hey, that was your last Wednesday practice," and you know, you're kind of looking around like, "Wow, this is my last Wednesday practice." You know, with these guys, and you know, I'm just soaking everything in and just enjoying, you know, just the little things, hanging around, you know, watching, you know, extra film, just, you know, just being with the DBs, just, guys I won't see, for a long time. Who knows the next time I'll see some of these guys, and I'm just, grateful for this opportunity that I got and that Coach Choate's given me to play ball here, and I've just loved every minute of it.
With the opportunity to win 2 in a row, I guess, what does that mean for the rivalry in terms of, trying to
Oh,
be-
definitely. I mean, definitely that helps the off season tremendously. It gives you, a big, it definitely helps with recruiting too, and then it helps in the off season. Getting the guys in the right direction. Another, you have goals every year, and it's gonna be weird not playing next year, but I'll be cheering so loud from home. Hopefully I can get to a couple games, but that definitely helps in the off season too.
Can you talk about what you've seen from Montana on film so far offensively?
Offensively, they're very explosive offense. They got number 16. He's a very explosive player. For a freshman quarterback, he throws a good deep ball. They try to get in a bunch of plays in a game. Hurry up, try to get guys in space. They got good athletes, and they're a very good offense, and it's going to be a good game.
And how about the role last year that this team played, getting a big win in Missoula, kind of played a role of spoiler for Montana, keeping them out of the playoffs. Same position it could be held this year. Are you guys aware of that, and what does that mean as far as this game goes?
Yeah, definitely. It's they took care of business in their normal schedule to get them the opportunity to get into the playoffs if after this game. But no, definitely there's so much other things that go into how big this game is, and it's going to be a tremendous atmosphere. I said that already, and it's just going to be fun, and we'll see what happens on Saturday.
Sorry. Can you just describe what that feeling was last year? Kind of remembering that.
No, definitely. It was definitely one of the best probably experiences in my football career. Just the fan base, just for doing it for the players before us and the players to come, and just literally how big this game is in the state of Montana. You don't really know how big it is until you're in the shoes, it was a tremendous feeling. You can't really describe it, but it was a fun one, and look forward to do that again. And yeah.
I know Coach Choate likes to say every game, is a clean slate, whether it's emotionally or schematically. Was there anything from last season's game defensively that you guys are looking to take into this year, I guess, in terms of having better success than you did in 2015?
Not really. I mean, it's a whole different offense they got. It's this offense. I feel this team this year they're playing a lot better than they did last year. So yeah, that's
I know that defensively against NAU, I talked with Bryce Alley a little bit about keeping it simple against teams that are prolific and are balanced, kind of like NAU is and Montana will be. Do you guys keep it simple and stay with some of your base stuff, or do you try to mix it up and throw in some crazy things?
I'd say it's base. You just play base coverages, and in the NAU game, our secondary did play the best, and obviously they're gonna see that on film, and we got to come out and play way better than we did, and we'll see what happens.
Speaking of that secondary, you guys gave up some big plays last year, but this year they seem to have really tightened down in the secondary.
Yep.
What would you say about some of the young guys that have contributed, like Tyrell Thomas and Jalen Cole?
They're just competitors, man. Just every day, just how they prepare, how they take coaching. They're very, young kids just coming out of high school and have to step in right away. They're doing a very good job of learning the defense, not only competing. You can't really coach competitiveness. Those guys every day come to work, always asking questions. And they got, after this year, got 3 more years, and I may mark my word, they're probably going to be All-Americans here. I have that much confidence in them. If they keep working like they're working, and they're going to be good.
Jalen, he's a true freshman. How do you think he handled that situation last week, having to be disqualified, and how is he focusing up for this week?
No, definitely. He was bummed, and obviously you can argue the targeting call whatever. That's just all that is now. You just got to learn to tackle lower, but it's hard for him because he loves playing football, and that's what I love about him. He's a competitor. He just wants to play ball, and it was hard for him not to be out there and helping us out. But after he gets out of the first half, I think first half he'll be back in and he'll be ready to roll. He's been practicing really well. So.
How much does having JoJo help you guys in the back end this week, just in terms of even depth and quality?
Oh yeah, definitely. We're a little slim, I guess, in the safety end with Braden moving around from linebacker to safety, and I guess that allows Braden to play a little more linebacker than safety a little bit. But no, definitely he's coming in, and it definitely allows us to get maybe some other people breathers or just stuff like that. So that's definitely helped a lot having him back and healthy. And he's on the bright side. He's only a sophomore, so you got 2 more years with him, and he's gonna be a good player too, I think.